Asalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wabarakatuh. Welcome back to my channel. I pray that you are all in the best of health and Iman. If you are new, welcome. My name is Nafisa. I make Islam and lifestyle videos. So if you're interested in that kind of content, then please don't forget to hit the subscribe button down below and join our family. So guys, it has been a while since I've sat down and spoken to you guys face to face, so I'm really hoping that you guys will enjoy this video. Now, before I begin today's video, just like to say that I'm starting a new series on my channel called Aspiring Muslimah. So inshallah, in every single video that is coming in this series, I'm going to basically be talking about the lessons that I have learnt from these women and how they have inspired me and how I'm aspiring to be like them in terms of, you know, emulating some of the qualities that they have shown, which makes them stand out before Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And I'm hoping that in doing that, you know, you guys will also feel inspired and you guys will feel more strongly that we as women, we have amazing role models in Islam, and that we will all learn the lessons which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has placed there for us to learn about how to be amazing women and really be, you know, women that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is always proud of. I hope that you guys will really enjoy this series. I hope you learn a thing or two, because, you know, different people can be called role models, but we all know that the real role models are the people whom Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala have approved as our role models. And so there's no better way to start than speaking about the women who are mentioned in the Quran, and then of course I will go on to speak about other great women in Islam, and inshallah perhaps later on in the line I can even bring in modern day women who I feel have achieved certain, you know, goals in life, and see how they can inspire us to also better ourselves, both in terms of our dunya as well as our hereafter as well. So without further ado guys, I'm going to start off by speaking about the wife of Imran, who is the mother of Mary, the mother of Maryam, may the peace and blessings of Allah be upon her. So the wife of Imran, of course, is the wife of Prophet Ali Imran, may the peace and blessings of Allah be upon him and his family, Ameen. And you know, the first time I ever came across her story when I read Surah Al-Imran, it really shocked me, and I kind of took a step back, because I think I don't really hear about her story that very much, and there isn't a lot that is known about her. But from the few verses in the Quran that I read, honestly, it literally got me learning so much more about what an amazing woman she is, and kind of got me to understand some of the reason why she stood out so much, the fact that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions her in his book, the Quran, of course. So in the Quran it says that
إذ قالت امرأة عمران رب إني نذرت لك ما في بطني محررا فتقبل مني إنك أنت السميع العليم.
So this is a very short part of what is a large surah in the Quran, and it really stood out to me. You know, what the mother of Maryam is doing, or what she did, really stood out to me. And one of the reasons why, and hence one of the lessons I've learned from her, is that it made me think, why do we actually want children? You know, as women, I know that a lot of us, we just have this innate feeling, we just want to carry our own babies. You know, we want them to grow up to be amazing people, and it's just like a circle of life, isn't it? You know, you get married, you have children, you get old, they look after you in your old age, you die, and you know, they, you know, repeat the pattern basically, right? But this woman, she stood out to me as a very special woman. She is a woman that I'm aspiring to be like, because she made me realize that wanting a child should also be a part of your service to Allah. And really, you know, I always speak a lot about having our focus right and making our goal Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And what she puts across here is that even in our blessings that we seem to think is just a worldly blessings, we can gain a blessing of the hereafter from that. And what I mean by that is that, you know, look at the dua that she makes. She says, "Oh my Lord, I have vowed to you what is in my womb to be dedicated to your service. Whatever child I am having, I am dedicating that child to your service." So not only am I dedicating myself to your service, I'm also dedicating my child to your service. That is amazing, guys. And honestly, as women, I think that, you know, if you're pregnant or you're about to have a child, really consider making a dua like this to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You know, when serving Allah is what you love most, every single blessing that you have in your life, you want to use it to that purpose. And so that's why I aspire to be like her. And that's one of the reasons why she really inspires me. It's amazing. This is not a kind of story or kind of dua I've ever heard anywhere else before. And so it really inspires me as a woman to think that inshallah, when I get to that position of becoming a mother, this is the type of dua that I would like to make to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, so that my child is not only a blessing for me, but a blessing to themselves and a blessing to the generations after. And then more importantly, sisters, make dua that the generation that will come after you will be better worshippers of Allah than you are. And I really believe that it is especially important for women who are pregnant to make dua for their unborn children, because 4 things are written for a person when they are still in their mother's womb. And this refers back to the whole, you know, destiny thing. The first is that person's lifespan. The child that you're carrying, that child's lifespan is written for that child before the child comes out of your womb. The second thing is their sustenance, right? What's, you know, how much money they're going to have, how much wealth they're going to have, everything. All of that is written for them whilst the child is still in your womb. The third thing is the time of death of that child is already written for that child before they come out of your womb. And then the fourth thing is whether or not that person will be happy or sad in the hereafter. And this is from an authentic hadith from both Bukhari and also Muslim, that these 4 things are written for a person before they come out of their mother's wombs. Basically, the angel appears to them and all these 4 things are written, and then the life is blown into the child, because at first it's just a body developing, there is no soul there yet. So the third lesson that I've learnt from the actions and du'as of the mother of Maryam is that things don't always go according to our plan. Now, it comes across in the verse that when she said that she dedicated what was in her womb for the service of Allah, and also by her reactions when she actually ended up having a girl, that she had thought that she was going to have a boy. This goes back to the whole like dawah thing. When we think about what a man can achieve versus what a woman can achieve, we tend to think that a man is a little bit on, you know, they're a bit more advantageous. They've got advantages when it comes to giving dawah in comparison to what a woman can do, and that's how we perceive it to be. So I think in a sense she thought that she was going to have a boy, and then when she ended up having a girl, she said, oh my lord, I have given birth to a female child. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala responds by saying, and Allah knows best what she had delivered. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knew all along what she was carrying. These were not the days when you can have ultrasounds to tell you whether you're having a boy or a girl or whatever, right? These were the days when you just gave birth, and that's when you found out what you were going to have. And so it really teaches the lessons of, you know, Allah's plans is always greater than our dreams. Now, another lesson here is she didn't get a male child, however she got a female child. Now, what did she do with her female child? Well, she would just be like, oh, you're rubbish, you're just gonna get married and, you know, move on to another man's house, so forget that, daughter. No, right? She then went on to say, I have named her Mary, and I seek refuge in you from the shaitan, the outcast, for her and her offsprings. Amazing how she continues. Now, watch the beginning of the dua. She was making dua to dedicate her child to the service of Allah. Now she's actually making dua to protect, for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to protect her child and the offsprings that will come from her. And again, it goes back to that idea that I'm saying of we must be making dua for our unborn children and even the generations who will come after that. And on the notes of making dua for children, there are a few duas which the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, has suggested to us about how to make dua for our kids. So inshallah, I will try to leave some of those linked down below so you can check them out. And you know, another funny part is that I don't know if she ever could have actually pictured that this child, this female child that she had given birth to, would of course go on to be dedicated to the service of Allah, that this female child was end up giving birth to a prophet, and that this particular female child will have an entire chapter named after her in the last book of Revelation for the entirety of humanity, jinn kind and mankind included. Like, can you imagine? Can you actually imagine? She was just making dua to dedicate one child to Allah's service, and out of that, Allah did more than that for her. Not only did that child serve Allah, but that child ended up giving birth to a prophet, and then that prophet ended up leading thousands of generations of people, and then her child ends up having an entire chapter named after her in the last book to be revealed to mankind and jinn kind. I know I've repeated that twice, guys, but it's a massive deal, and it just goes on to show that when you want, sometimes all Allah wants to see is a little step from you in his path, and he will literally open a massive door for you and blessings will just come flowing. And so, subhanallah, the wife of Imran, she is definitely a woman for us to aspire to be like, and to want to be like, and to take the lessons, joys of living in London, and to take the lessons from her and realize that what she actually did there was really, really great. The fourth and really important lesson here is that being a woman or giving birth to a female child does not mean that that child is in any way limited in terms of serving Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It just means that her service to Allah may come in different forms. However, it does not under any circumstance mean that she is limited and she will then not be able to serve Allah. It's just that our idea in our minds of what serving Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala means is slightly skewed, right? It's slightly skewed, and we have made it to seem as if it's something that is only for the men. However, we as women, we can also serve Allah. We as women, we can reach that high status, right, that the men can reach, and the men, they can reach the high status that we can reach. However, it just means that our paths may be slightly different. And so that is an important lesson to encourage all of us that I felt really inspired by. And I think that sisters, you sisters out there, you really should be feeling really proud and really inspired here, that whatever you want to achieve in terms of your deen, you can also achieve. Whatever you want to achieve in terms of making Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala proud, in terms of serving Allah, you can totally do it, right? Just bear in mind that the way you do it may be different from the way a man does it. However, it does not in any way mean that you cannot achieve that. So sisters, when you give birth to a girl, don't feel down. Brothers, if you wanted a boy and you actually end up giving birth to a girl, actually the funny thing is sometimes that is your biggest blessing, but you perhaps don't even see it. And I've seen it in the sense that sometimes, you know, the generations before us kind of had the same mindset as well, that, you know, if you had a boy, that's great for you, you know, that's the only way for you to move forward. The boy child is the child who's going to look after you and all of this. And if you had a girl, obviously because she's going to get married and move on somewhere else, then, well, you know, she's not so great. And the ironic thing is that perhaps because of the nature of a woman, that she is more emotional, she actually becomes more attached to her parents, and she actually ends up being the one to be more concerned about her parents' well-being when they are in old age. Now brothers, that doesn't mean to say that men don't care about their parents. Totally not true, right? I know some brothers who are like this with their parents, so that's not true. But I'm just saying that sometimes that same thing that you're looking at in a negative way can actually turn out to be a blessing as well. So to conclude this video, I just wanted to say that clearly what makes these women stand out is that they put Allah before everything else. And so if you take anything from this video, all I'm saying to you is put Allah before anything else and dedicate every blessing in your life for the sake of Allah. And it's amazing what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala can give you back in return for that. I mean, Allah did say in that verse that Allah accepted her with goodly acceptance, right? And so We want Allah to accept us with goodly acceptance, but before we have that acceptance, we've actually got to go to Allah. We've got to offer ourselves to Allah in the way of His service, and that is when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala can actually accept us with a goodly acceptance. So on that note, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept all of our efforts in His cause, accept it with a goodly acceptance, and make us women that He will be proud of, women who stand up for His religion the way it should be. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala guide all of us. I pray that you guys have enjoyed this video, and if you've enjoyed it, please make sure you give me a thumbs up. Leave me a comment down below letting me know, give me some ideas about what other women you want me to talk about. So that is it for this week's video. Thank you so much all for watching. Jazakallah khair. I've got to love you and leave you. Assalamualaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh.